Thank you very much, Kathy, and that introduction, and thank you for the hard work that you are doing to making this service so special. I especially want to thank the law enforcement professionals who are here, including United States Attorney Jessie Liu, who's returning to her office in Washington, D.C. as a U.S. Attorney, where she served for a number of years. To Mike Munn and Jesse Gomez and Dick Marquise of the FBI, and, of course, to Ed O'Callahan, Jonathan Fryman, Brianna Edgar, Jerry Tarasinski, and Heather Cartwright of our National Security Division in the Department of Justice, and to so many others that are here from the Department of Justice. I'd like to take a moment to remember Frank Dugan, your attorney, whom we lost last month. Everyone here knows that he was tough and a most able advocate for the victims of Pan American 103. He will certainly be missed. And to thank his widow, Faye, I believe you're here during this difficult time. On behalf of the President, I want to offer my condolences to all of the families of the victims of PanAm 103. Your strength today and over these past 29 years is an inspiration for all the people in our country. In particular, I want to mention those of you who are part of the Department of Justice family. I think it symbolizes just how impactful this tragedy was. Stephanie Bernstein, who just gave that beautiful invocation, she lost her husband, Michael, a DOJ attorney who was in Vienna on Department of Justice business. He'd been working on deporting former Nazis from the United States, and he was on his way home to her. Former U.S. Attorney Rick Hartunigan, who lost his 21-year-old sister Lynn. Assistant United States Attorney Ann Gannon, who lost her uncle Matthew. So today we stop and pay them the tribute of remembering them and all those whose names we heard so beautifully read. But 29 years later, we continue to heal. You continue to heal. I believe that we owe it to the victims and to you, their families, to ensure that justice is done. I want to assure you that your loved ones are not forgotten, and neither are you. Our investigators and prosecutors meet regularly in the United States, in Scotland, and elsewhere to advance the case and bring those responsible to justice. They continue their efforts to gather witnesses and recover evidence from Libya. Despite challenging conditions, they are engaged with Libyan prosecutors and officials and will continue their work as long as it takes. 29 years ago, this was the deadliest terrorist attack on American civilians in our nation's history. 270 innocent people from 22 countries were targeted for death by state-sponsored terrorists. 189 were Americans traveling home for Christmas. The victims include a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a couple on a honeymoon. Every year, on December 21st, the men and women of the Department of Justice are honored to join you here. This day reminds us of what is at stake in the work that we do. It inspires us and renews our determination. The first and most foremost job of any government is to protect the safety and rights of its citizens. Terrorists target unarmed, unsuspecting, innocent people going about their lives, watching a soccer game, commuting to work, or flying home for Christmas. Ours is the difficult task of staying one step ahead of them at all times. It is not enough just to prosecute terrorism, though that's important. We must prevent terrorism. Over these last 29 years, terrorists have certainly continued to target us. They have inflicted other attacks on us and our allies, from San Bernardino to Boston, from the Pentagon, just a mile and a half away from this very spot, to Orlando and London. But at the same time, we have improved our law enforcement training, our tactics, and we are more determined than ever to defeat terrorism, not to accommodate it, but to defeat it. The Department of Justice has achieved a number of victories. We've secured convictions of more than 500 terrorists since 9/11. And since 2013 alone, we've charged more than 145 terrorist fighters, homegrown extremists, and ISIS supporters in more than 40 districts throughout the United States. We're not letting up. The FBI currently has ongoing investigations in all 50 states. In my time as Attorney General, nothing has impressed me more. I meet with the FBI director and his counterterrorism team 3 mornings a week. We recognize the responsibility that we have. We are determined to prevent as many attacks as possible. Of course, that is not easy. We are not perfect, but we are working resolutely every single day to reach the highest levels of success. I am very impressed, amazed really, at how effective our team has been in preventing attacks, prosecuting terrorists before they carry out their murderous aims. Terrorists seek to intimidate us. They seek to coerce us, but they will fail. The American people will not yield. That is what we owe the victims we remember today, and that is what we owe you, their families, to bring terrorists to justice and ensure that other families don't have to endure what you have. President Trump and his department will remain relentless in doing that. I want to thank all of you for being here and for your being relentless in honoring the memory of those beautiful lives we lost. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.